All right, now that we have our esteemed authors here, we can start the program. First of all, thanks very much everyone for coming. This is a pretty important day for us. It's for the Historical Society, for all of our members, and the two gentlemen sitting right here at the table. Authors of the book, 10 Decades of the Lewis Adams Frothingham Memorial Park. This is the book release and signing, first signing of the book. I'm just going to make a couple of announcements and just introduce you to these two guys, both of whom you know very well. First of all, as I said, thank everyone for coming. I'd like to thank our volunteers who are here today. You could raise your hands and take bows and you'll get some applause. There you go. I'd also like to thank ECAT for trusting us with their equipment today. And we're trusting Steve Anderson to run it. We could be in deep trouble, folks. We could be in very deep trouble.
Put some good stuff on there, Steve.
Yeah, keep us alive. So, without further ado, I'm just going to introduce the authors. There's John Coe, and John is responsible for all the photography. He's one of our directors, a vice president, and an all-around general asset to the Easton Historical Society Museum. Also, we have Ed Hands, popularly known as Easton's historian, the Town of Easton's historian. Yep. And for those of you who know Ed, you'll know that that's a very accurate description. I've yet to ask Ed a question to which he did not know the answer or could not make up an answer. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand over the program to John and Ed. Two things that I do want to mention before that. One is that any sales of the book, today or in the future, are all going to the benefit of the Easton Historical Society Museum. So, thank you, John. Thank you, Ed. We appreciate that very much. I also would like to say thank you to the sponsors of the book, which John will elaborate on, which are the Northeastern Savings Bank and the Frothingham Park Corporation Board. So thank you all very much. John, you're up.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Before I start, I'd like my senior, and I do look up to and I respect greatly. Ed's the Easton historian. There's no doubt about it. He's been researching for years. He has taught at all of our aims. He's done everything here in this building. I can't say enough about him. So if there's anybody ever has a question, you really want a great answer and an in-depth answer about history of Easton and further, probably more on other towns as well. Ed is the man that would answer those questions, and respect him greatly. I'd like Ed to say a few things about the book before I go in, because I'm going to probably rattle on a little bit.
No, I'm not going to rattle on very much, but the project started a few years ago when Buddy Worcester suggested that it was time to do a photo book of the park. And we were lucky enough to have a great collection of photos, some that Buddy had collected over the years and some that had come into the Historical Society files. When John told me that nobody reads anymore, we decided to make it a pretty much a... I didn't say that. I have it on tape. We decided to make the book as much of a photo book as possible, and it is fantastic. I was so happy when we got a chance to look at the proofs the other day, just how wonderful it was turned out. So I wrote a little dedication in the front and got to proof a little bit, and that was my major contribution. The big contribution came from John, and this is his second photo book of Easton, but I think this is by far his best. It's a subject that he knows a lot about since he's pretty much lived in that area for quite a while, and loves it as much as many of you do. So we'll turn it over to him so he can tell you a whole bunch more.
Thanks. So the book was a vision about 6 years ago, but we had just accomplished the first book, which was a beautiful image of historic Easton. It covered a lot of things, older houses, schools, playgrounds, graveyards, you name it. We covered pretty much, and as soon as that was done, and we started selling the book for the Historical Society again, it was definitely a winner. And so he came to me and said, John, he says, we need a book about the park now. Listen, this is, as Buddy would say, we got another project we've got to do right now. The project is getting the park done in the same type of format. A lot of pictures, and he liked a little bit about my photography, but we had a lot in the archives. So it was absolutely his vision to get this done. And I thought, wow, hasn't somebody done one of these before? And not in book form, they've had a couple things. So I put it about 6 years ago, and 6 years, we had a couple little, Buddy passes away a few years ago, and he kept saying to me, John, I'm not getting any younger, let's go, come on. And so then COVID came a little bit and knocked us down, and so finally got a big surge and got it done. This book could have been twice as thick. There's so much of Frothingham Park that you could write about. We did it in a decade form. This was actually dedicated in September of 1930. So we're coming up in 2030, that's 100 years. But as Buddy said, we're in the 10th decade, John. Let's go, let's get this book going. 10 decades of Frothingham Memorial Park. Okay, so that was the vision. We went with pre-park, Louis Frothingham, Mary Ames Frothingham first, and who was Minnie Ames? And why did she marry Louis? They got married, a great man, a congressman, lieutenant governor, so on and so forth, which is all in the book. Pretty good history on that. And he dies tragically. She wants to do something for the townspeople of Easton. And the thing is, I want to make a big park for the townspeople, the townsmen of Easton. And she went on buying a lot of land from the Goward family, actually along the perimeter of Frothingham Park, bought parcels of land from other owners up there. He wanted to make a nice square up there. It didn't really happen. Day Street and Sheridan is kind of like really, it's a tough corner there, but he did it. And they had a dedication in 1930. She got all the best people in the world to really do the park. The equipment that you probably don't see now was really done by Joe Lee. Joseph Lee, he was the father of the playgrounds. He did equipment like you would, the equipment that we fell off of a lot at the park. The real tall slide, the jungle gym, you hit your head and the swings would come back and hit you in the head, and segregated it too. When he first did it, the girls were on one side, the boys were on the other. The big stuff was for the boys. Not until my sister came along. That wasn't going to last for long. The girls' side, they're with the other guys. They could do it as well as the guys could and better. But some of that equipment was fabulous. Then they had a tennis court. The basketball court came later, a lot later. Football field. The football field that we all played on, that was a pond. They fished in that pond there. There was an overflow. It was the hollow. That was the frog pond. That was there for a little bit. But, and we loved it when it actually got clogged up. You could go in there and you could wade through there. It's just a fabulous place to grow up. And growing up, as so many of us did, everybody probably in this room and all the families here grow up. So this book will walk through the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, right up to today. So it'll take you back from dedication, pre-dedication, why the park. So I think you'll enjoy a lot of these. If you went to Oliver Ames in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and some of the 70s, everything to do with athletics outside, spring, fall, was at the park. Everything. Today, you have baseball at the park. Before, in those years, like I said, everything was there. Now there's graduation in baseball for Oliver Ames. Before, it's everything. Just everything. So you can imagine how busy that was with these track meets. Baseball, of course. Football, he couldn't get a ticket half the time. They had to put canvases on the Sheridan Street fence. And so the people wouldn't park outside and didn't want to pay the admission to get in, so they could look through. And the Boosters Club did that. The OA Boosters, football boosters did that. So a lot of football, the track meets. Track was huge back then, down at the park. A lot of things were built for track there. It was great. And let's talk about the women for a little bit. How about field hockey, softball? Unbelievable, the sports that were down there. And we can't really talk about basketball too much because basketball's in a gym. It was at Oliver Ames, wherever the gym was. But there's a lot of people that played a lot of basketball at the park, and it contributed a lot of their summer play at the park for the fall and winter sport. So I won't rattle on anymore. I do want to dedicate a couple books. First of all, the first book, you thanked the Northeastern Savings Bank. They subsidized the printing costs. Frothingham Park itself. Oh, there's Chuck. Hey, Chuck, don't stand in the back. Chuck really just one of the directors.
He wants you. You can't avoid him. Come on.
Is that my wife? Is that my wife?
That's your wife.
That's your wife.
I'll take my wife, please.
Who has more influence than you do? Because Chuck's cousin.
That's true.
You're right.
So I want to thank the Frothingham Park for their sponsorship of the printing costs, 2/3 of the printing costs. So I do want to, and any of the trustees or directors of the park right here, I want to give it out to you with a big round of applause for them. And the Northeast Savings Bank stepped up like they did for the last book, and about 1/3 of the printing costs they did, and we thank them greatly. Courtney Palm and Richard Spencer, we'll get some real great big thank yous to them. But what it really means for us, it's an ongoing income stream. The other book we had now was well over $26,000 that we brought back to the Historical Society, which I'm very proud of, and we all are here. This could be a bigger one, which I want to thank everybody that you're going to purchase a book here today, and we'll have it online. Tell your friends, please, online. They will be at Hilliard's too. Hilliard's sells an awful lot of them, and it will be down at Langwater where the other two books are right now. So, but without further ado, I'd like to, I want to present a couple books. We've got them numbered, by the way. So the number one book, this is set aside for Buddy Worcester, and I want to present it to Ann Drury, Ann Worcester Drury. So thank you so much. Give it up for Ann. I do want to, as I said a lot of great things about Ed Hands. I want to thank him very much. Whether he knows it or not, he says, I've done 1% of the things in this book. I said, no, you haven't. First of all, Buddy wanted a co-author. He wanted Ed and myself. And directly or indirectly, Ed's got his hands on a lot of the history on this that has been written. So if you look things up, he probably authored half this stuff anyway. So the Ed gets the number 3 book, and that's for you. Thank you very much. I got number 2. And the number 4 book, and then we went from there with a lot, is somebody that's our president here of the Easton Historical Society, and we work extremely well together. He's been a great leader, a great part of the leadership team here, and anytime we've got to dig down and get dirty, I allowed the cellar down recently, digging out that and putting a nice layer of concrete down there and everything. We've done a lot here in the past few years. So, Ken Michael. We have our, actually, this is really good. So Chuck, timing is everything. You came in the door, and we've got one for you and one for David. So thank you very much. A little bit of Chuck is in this book. You'll love the picture of Chuck in the book. He's got one with his directors, but his one here I took out from, I think when I was a junior at Oliver Ames, and he was a student teacher. I've got his picture as a student teacher in here, so you'll love that one. He looks really, really young then. Thank you. So we're here, Ed's, he's going to the Brockton Symphony today at some point in time, and he says, I hope we have a line here that I can get out pretty soon. So if you want to get a book while we're both here, but we have a few pre-signed, so we're here to sign it. Otherwise, take a look around. We've got some great exhibits in the back room with a lot of the old vintage pictures, especially the July 4th, 1947. Joe Lyons, who was a photographer, lived on Hayward Street, right down the, where is that, Leonard? Where's that? Right down the street from Ed, on Hayward Street. Ed lived in the corner of Hayward and Columbus Ave for years, so he's part of the old neighborhood. He's got some great old stories. One of his stories is in the book, which is great. And he told me the one about picking up chestnuts in the park on those trees, putting them in his pockets, taking them home and roasting them, which was I said, that's a great story. But Joe Lyons, he did most of the major, beautiful black and whites from the 4th of July in 1947. Remember, the servicemen were coming back. World War II ended in 45. And of course, there's still activity after that. So 47 must have been an incredible 4th of July with families coming around. Some of those pictures are classics. We have an album that was donated by Minnie Ames. It's it's like BU condition, almost uncirculated. And it is wonderful. Some of the pictures, if you've seen the ones in our archives, you haven't seen some of these. They're beautiful. So take a look at them, and refreshments are here. I want to thank everybody for coming today, and especially I should have the book, because the book I'm going to dedicate it to my wife, Paul. Why? Because she's been listening to me for 6 years. Every single day. Oh, you got to see what we're putting in the book. She goes, I'm living this thing, John. You don't have to tell me that again. But for putting up with me for the last 6 years while I've been doing, well, the other book was that almost as bad too.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
I don't say it.
But dedicated to you. So thank you very much for coming, and the last person I want to recognize, he's standing tall in the corner. That's Robert Holmes. Robert does a lot of documentaries with Ann. If you've seen some of the films they've had, the one you haven't seen too much is one of the last ones Buddy did about 10 years ago. And it shows Buddy walking down from the Sheridan Street gate down in there. And it's a fabulous, fabulous documentary on the park. And Robert helped me with a lot of the pictures in those archives, brought them over one night. I got them downloaded. So you'll see a lot of those in the book. Ann got a lot of the family ones in the book. We've got a lot. And again, I could have doubled this book, but we had to we got to put this in production. It was going to be too big, I think. So, but thank you all so much for coming, and especially our volunteers. Thank you very, very, very much.